Hey everybody, happy Tuesday, hope you're doing well. Got a couple things on tap today. Before we get into the new stuff here, exceptions and advanced file I/O, I want to talk a little bit more about Project 3 that's coming up due. Believe it or not, it has been a month almost since we got it. Or was it 4 weeks? No, that's a month, right? Same thing? I guess in February, 4 weeks is the same as a month. So that's coming up due this Thursday at 6 p.m. So had a couple questions on that. Hey, good morning, Scholar. Morning, Snake. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll jump into exceptions. It's probably as far as we're going to get today is just exceptions. We'll look more at some file I/O probably come Thursday and next week as well. And then we do have our last individual project, Project 4, coming up. We'll talk about that on Thursday as well. And then we can look forward to the final project coming up in April, and that'll be our last thing to do here in April. Again, for the final project, usually we do it in pairs in person, but given all this remote learning stuff, I don't want to force anyone into pairs if they're not up for that sort of thing. And we don't have time in class. Usually class, we don't spend the full 2-hour lecture blocks on these topics. And we've got time, especially these last couple sessions here, just set aside to work on the final project together. So if you want to do it individually, that's great. If you want to pair up with a classmate, that's perfectly fine as well. And then the plan is to actually do presentations, to have everyone present their final project, or the teams present their final projects on April 29th. So we'll look at probably doing like a Zoom session there. Actually get a chance to meet each other, I guess, and wave over cameras or something. If you're up for it. If not, you can just present it, and we can go from there. It has been synchronous optional up through now. So if you can't make it live, then we'll look at some other options for presenting, either booking a time with me or doing some kind of recording. So as we get a little closer to April 29th, we'll talk more about some of those options. But just keep that in mind. That's the goal if we can. So, oh yeah, I hope you got your coffee. All right, let me make this thing quiet here. There. April, yeah, we're getting close to April already. Can you believe it? We're halfway through March now. Is today the halfway? Because there's 31 days in March, so I think the 16th. Maybe 16 and a half. No, we've had 15 days. We're close. Yeah, this is week 10 of the semester, believe it or not. So we are flying by. So let me open up NetBeans here. And let's find the project. We'll do a little more chat about that. Maybe. I'd like to do that. Presenting is much more fun, Sweet Tea, if we can do it in person. If you can't, I understand, because that's, you know, the whole thing has been live is optional. So if it doesn't work with the schedule, I'm understanding of that, and we can arrange for something else. Either you can like do a recording of your presentation, or you can meet with me at another time. But yeah, and usually I'd have pizza, but I can't really do that remotely, so it's kind of a bummer. But if you find folks are still around, come hopefully fall, maybe we'll be back to in person occasionally, more regularly. You can stop by, and maybe I'll owe you a slice of pizza or something. Okay. Come on, NetBeans. Definitely will share my coffee with you when I get to an office eventually. I supposedly have one somewhere. Weird to start at a place during this pandemic and never be there in person. All right. Yeah, it'll be nice. All right. I know remote learning can be very tough, for sure. All right, so this is project 3. So I'm hoping, though, we'll keep some of these ideas with our remote learning, like virtual office hours. It's been nice, because if you aren't on campus, the times I have office hours, you know, like some other tools and options to meet, it has been nice. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll learn from this experience and things will go okay. All right, let me close this one down. Yeah, I'm a fan of Discord. That's worked out well, I think. So for sure, I'll keep my Discord server, and you folks are welcome to hang out in Discord after the fact, if you're so curious and still have some hot memes to share or other tech news you want to chat about. That's always fun. Like I'm not going to kick anyone out of Discord, so happy to have folks along. And I think someone posted in our Discord, someone had a really good joke the other day. I don't think it was ours, was it? Oh yeah, it was the bowling pin. You either hit it or you don't. The that one. I don't know how well you can see that there. Definitely fun to hang out there, tell stupid jokes. Amazing and awful. I mean, yes. Programmer jokes, math jokes, they're all good. And I think I had this one here. Let me pop this up. This one's totally worth it too. While NetBeans figures out what it's doing with its life. Come on. Yeah, here we go. How do I... Sure, see that, I guess. This is the big mood for some people, I think. Come on, I clicked it. I clicked it. Open up the editor. Shit, should have rebooted this morning. Come on. Nope. Nope. Come on. Load for me. Alright, I just wanted to show a funny joke. That's all I wanted. Nothing. Okay. That's fine. My nip and sketch tool. Alright. Oh well. Oh wow. I think NetBeans is loading, so. Alright. So, a couple things here, right? This is working with some of our Chapter 10 stuff with inheritance, abstract classes, interfaces, those sorts of things. So, the cart class is a abstract-based class. We'll have subclasses for specific cart types. We'll have some information about carts. These constructors here are going to change certain things about break speeds and max speeds and just to make those different. And then they have additional extra properties. Okay, and then our track is going to have a list of these carts and their position. I had a couple questions along position here. We got a couple options on how we want to tackle those. So, you know, the cheap, easy way, that's not the worst thing in the world, is you just have two array lists. At index 0 is the first cart and the first cart's position in each array list. That's one option. That's not ideal. It might just be easier to put the position into the cart class as well. That's okay if you want to go about it that way. It's not exactly what that says, but that probably makes more sense. But either way is okay. Let's add some classes here, right? So we'll add a new class. If we have cart here, and this one's an abstract class, really got to change those templates. One of these days I will. Abstract class cart, right? It does a bunch of things. And then if we have like track, so track then could have an array list, private, right? Private array list of type cart. And we just need to tell NetBeans we want the array list. Yes, please. So you could, if you could do an array list of carts, and you could have an array list of integer positions, like that, right? And then every time we add a cart, we would add to the integer array list as well as position. And it's okay. You know, we could do that. It might make more sense to have cart have the position in it, but either way is okay. We can make it work. One of the things with this project is it's I don't know if vague is the right term, but the way that you can implement it right? You can implement this lots of different ways, and that's totally up to you, right? When it comes to the real world, you don't always get a nicely detailed, hey, you do this specific thing and this specific thing and this specific thing exactly like that and make the match perfectly. Right? They say, hey, here's a problem I want solved, go for it. So trying to get you into the habit of that a little bit more with this. And then sometimes it's more fun when it's open-ended. That, you might not agree with the more fun bit, and that's okay. But, it's good practice to get into, well, how do I want to design this? What things, how do my classes talk to each other? Rather than being handed, here's the very specific design, you go write some code. And again, it's going to depend on your organization. Sometimes a lot of design work will be done by the more senior engineers in the team, software developers in your team, and that's great. Right? The more experience you have, usually the easier it is to design solutions. You kind of understand and have some of those gotchas. So, but getting a chance to work through this is fun. And okay, fun again. Maybe I'm stretching that word there, but definitely good practice for sure. And that's what I think is the most interesting part of software, is that it's not just a science of like, all right, here's the thing you type and here's how you do this particular thing, but it really is an art. And that art is, well, how do I want these things to interact? How do I imagine my code working here? And that you have to practice, right? Nobody is just born with innate natural artistic talent. You have to develop it and practice it. And practice we shall. Okay, so track has a list of carts. Track is going to have a bunch of bends as well. So bend has a max speed assigned in a location. So again, if we wanted to, we could do some sort of parallel array lists here, but that's feeling kind of bad, and we can do something better, right? We can say, let's add a bend class, right? And bend had, what do we say? It had like a max speed in it as well, and then it maybe bend had the position as well, position on track, that sort of thing. I don't know, why not? And then it might have an array list of these type bend, right? And then the idea is like every turn as cars are moving, if a cart enters the bend position, we need to go do something with it. Right? So when light carts enter a bend, it gets a chance to brake before it takes the penalty. Other carts don't get that. So maybe we have to hand cart, hey, you've entered a bend. And then the cart can check it, and then the light cart can do its special thing when it checks it. Sure, that sort of thing. We could do that. Right, so if cart then might have a method, I don't know, void, I don't know if there's going to be a return type or not. You can always change that later. And like, enter bend, you're going to bend. And if we want to make that abstract, sure. If you want to define it and then override it, that's cool too. I'll tend to try and not make things abstract if we can help it. Like if we know what the implementation is, it probably makes sense to do it. Right? If we have a default behavior, let's go for that one. Oh boy, that's the wrong button. There we go. Now I can't even close this snip and there it goes, the snip and sketch window. Oh, no, it's working. I just had to click it the right way. There. You've heard of Socrates, the great philosopher. I present mediocrities. Good enough. That was worth it. Totally worth it. See, these are all the amazing things I post in the Discord for you folks. Exclaim Discord for the link, or you might even think about opening the syllabus and reading it. I hear Snoop Dogg says, read the syllabus. You guys saw that, right? Oh, thank you for the posture check there, Snake. I think it was in the fall, right? Wasn't it? Like some prof had the idea of getting on Cameo and having Snoop Dogg record a cameo. Did you guys see that? Snoop Dogg Cameo syllabus. There we go. Look at that. I might have even searched it before, or it was just a popular topic. Let's try this. We'll see if this works. Thanks, Sweetie, for the link there.
A message from Big Snoop Bill Double G to all the university students. Yo, syllabus. You gotta do it. You gotta read it. Man, I'm telling you, the more you know, the further you go. Tell them, Snoop Dogg sent you. Syllabus. I know all about it. Catch up so we can have a conversation. Don't be late. Let's go.
All right, I don't know if you saw that before or not, but that's totally... Every time I think of the syllabus now, I think of Snoop Dogg. Okay. Right, so that's the idea with like a bend. Yep, so each type of cart here is going to implement the abstract base class cart, or extend, sorry, extend is the word, not implement. You implement interfaces, you extend classes for inheritance. So we'll have a class for light cart. Its constructor will do this sort of thing here, and then when it enters the bend, it needs to do a special thing. Excuse me. Yep. Right, so whatever happens in track then, right, again, we're not even really like writing the game portion of this that has to manage all of these interactions back and forth, but really that all just kind of happens in a loop, right? We let each cart pick its option. Is it going to accelerate? Is it going to brake? Is it going to use an item? Right? If you could imagine Mario Kart as a turn-based strategy game, that's what we're building here. This is all turn-based. This is not anything live here with a pretty user interface or anything like that. Right? We're just doing turn-based stuff. It's a poor implementation, but that's okay. Yep, so then we're going to add a interface, and you can even click the interface button here, right? If you want. You don't have to, but it just changed the word here to interface. And this has that use method, right? Use given a track and a cart, or whichever order you want. Doesn't matter, right? Cart, track. And that's the item interface. Void, maybe? I'm not entirely sure right now. Probably void, for now. Right? And then we're going to write a class that implements that interface. So if we wrote, I don't know, like the banana class. Right? So banana then implements item. Right? And now it yells at us and says, no, it doesn't. You want to implement all the abstract methods of item? Yes, I do. So then we add the method here that matches the interface for the class banana. And then this can define whatever use does here for us. Right? Now, banana needs to figure out how does it tell the track to put a banana at the location where the cart is. Right? So how are we going to interact with the track to put a banana at the position of the current cart? Remember, a cart uses a banana and it's on the track. So maybe we have some sort of method in track then that accepts the cart. I don't know. We could do something like that. So like track, place obstacle, or I don't know, drop obstacle at location given the cart or something. And then track needs to figure out, okay, well, what are we going to do here? So we go over to track and have a public void that takes the cart. Right, so then we have to find the position of the cart from the array lists. Drop obstacle. Right? And they see once there's an obstacle there, as carts are moving along these positions, we'll have to see, oh, if you crossed over that position, we're probably going to assume you slipped on the banana peel. Or maybe we roll a random number. Again, this sort of, we're not fully fledged. We haven't done the game loop portion of this here. But maybe that's something we do. Maybe we'll say, hey, there's a 1 in 3 chance if there's a banana on the track, when you cross that location, you slip on it. Sure. Or if you just want to make them slip all the time, that's fine too. If it's a really narrow track, right? It's up to you. Right, so then, yeah, let's make like a cart here. Let's do, I don't know, motorcycle, or, I don't know. Sure. motorcycle. So then motorcycles, right, with base classes or abstract classes, we extend them. Okay, so it is a cart. And that way we can do this cool polymorphic thing. And we can say, hey, I have a list of carts here. I don't care if they're motorcycles, if they're heavy carts, if they're light carts. They're all carts to me. I'm going to treat them as their base class type. But then when I call methods, I will get the specialized overridden behavior if you so defined it. So when a cart enters a bend, here, right, they will do this. If you've defined a special behavior for that, it'll do the special behavior. Remember, through the magic of polymorphism. Is this helping at all, or am I just confusing people more? Just trying to make a couple classes here and like give some ideas of some methods. Both. Sorry, that's both. It's making it worse and it's helping, or helpful and confusing. Okay, I gotcha. So like this idea here that if we enforce these in our constructor logic, that hey, if carts have these attributes, right? So cart then, look, cart is going to take, I don't know, int for max speed, int for acceleration, and int for brake speed, or something like that, right? We could take a bunch of attributes here and do something with them. Yeah, this is NetBeans. Yep. So what we could do then in motorcycle, right? It's going to complain right away. As soon as we have a constructor, it's going to complain here. So yeah, we should add a constructor here. And we need to call our superclass constructor. So motorcycles, right, we said are fast, right? Max speed plus 3. Sure. Max speed plus 3. You give me max speed, I'm just going to increase it by 3. Did I say plus 3 for all of them? Acceleration, brake speed, and max speed? Yeah, why not? We'll just add plus 3 to all of them. Sure. Plus 3, plus 3. Right? So whatever you give me as the base values here, I'm going to increase them by 3. That's the advantage the motorcycle has here as the motorcycle class. We get increased speed, increased acceleration, increased braking, because we are light. Right? We're a nice light vehicle. This is what I meant by enforce that in the constructor logic. And like the constructor then will affect our attributes here. And this is one way, right? If cart has a constructor, we can call them. The other thing we could have done, right? Cart maybe would have had attributes that were protected. We could have changed them as the protected attributes. This way we don't need to. We can just leave them as private here in cart. Protected or private, you know, our typical rule is we lean towards private by default, right? We just kind of follow that rule that our class will manage our class things. If we know we're going to need to mess with it and we want inherited classes to have access, sure, we'll go with protected. But other than that, it's okay. Obstacle add location. Did I not add that to track? I thought I added that to track. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now it stopped complaining at me here. Right? So we still need some kind of specific methods here for like using these items, right? So dropping an obstacle, the shell, we have to shoot an obstacle. So again, we can still be a little bit vague with what it is and other. So in Mario Kart, I mean, this amazing kart adventure racer game here, we had different item types. You could drop upside down question marks, you could drop bananas. I think those were the only items you could drop. Or you could drop, there was that the big like sound box, or you could drop a bomb that would go a big explosion sort of thing. That was a little harder to dodge. We've got options here, but if we leave it a little bit vague, then it makes it hopefully a little easier to implement some of these interactions here. Yeah, well, so shells we said we were shooting. We only wanted to deal with the forward case. I know you can shoot them backwards. Red shells didn't shoot backwards as nicely as green shells did, or they wouldn't do their whole, I forget. I think red shells only do their tracking when you shoot them forward. And we're going to assume that's what happens, right? With the shell, when we shoot it forward, it's just going to hit the next cart in front of us, if there's anybody in front of us. Right? So we've got options, and our track can manage that, right? Because the track has that list of items. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they only home in when you shoot them forward. Yep. Okay, so we'll have some items. Mario Scholar. And then we're gonna have items at given distances. Sure. So we can have a list of items as well. Private array list of item. This is items to pick up or something. I don't know. Now, those also need the position, so you can either keep another array list of item positions. Maybe I'm going to name this like cart positions. Or again, you could add that position to the items themselves. So if you want to add a constructor, right, for your items, you could do that. I don't know if that's the best way or not, but you could, right, to let items track that information. Right? Or you just make another array list of integer or item locations or positions. Sure. Either one's okay, right? Or add a position attribute to items, to carts. I don't know, item classes, maybe. Or you can even like change the item interface and say, hey, I need to have a get position, right? Do something like that. So we've got options, right? All right, we got our items here. Yeah, so again, we're not doing the game management of turns unless you wanted those extra points. And if you're on the fence about that, I think I told you folks on Thursday, but maybe I didn't. If you didn't do as well as you wanted on one of your individual projects, come final project grading time, I'll take your final project score and replace that score that you earned with the final project with your worst project. So your worst individual project can get your final project score, because I'm assuming everyone's going to do super well in this final project, because we're going to have a month to do it. All of April. And hopefully you're going to team up with someone. Again, maybe not exactly team up with someone, but or maybe you just want to chat with someone. And you guys will still work on individual projects, but you want to say, hey, so-and-so and I, we like really designed this together, discussed it together. We didn't write the code together, but we went in on, let's do this the same way. Yep. Well, so like when you drop an obstacle at a location, you have to find out which cart it is. Right? So you can loop through your carts and find which cart is which cart. And then you can find that index then at your cart positions. So it's probably easier to add a position to cart, right? But you could do either way, right? Both are acceptable because they will both get the job done. Just depends on how you want to do this. Yeah, exclam class there, Mr. Khan. Really, I've seen people who are much smarter than I am at streaming, much better at it. They'll put some of their commands into their title descriptions. So maybe I've got to learn how to do some of that. That's such a funny command too. So I don't know who's actually enrolled or not. I see some of your usernames, and I assume based on you asking questions every week, you're probably one of the students. So, well, sure, Mr. Khan. I am, but some people paid to be here. So thanks to the pandemic learning. So that's part of this fun experiment we're doing. And so far, I think it's going relatively well. Seems this is preferable to Zoom University. So maybe. We'll see. So please let me know. We're going to do end of semester feedback surveys, which are totally anonymous, by the way. I would strongly encourage you folks to do the survey, please, when they're ready. I'll post them. I think they come out in April sometime. I got to see. But let me show you. Here. This is a good segue. A good segue here. Nope, 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 nope. That folder. There we go. I've got them. I've got them here. I know. I do much prefer in-person classes, but let's see. So here is. Come on. So well, one of the things we're looking at is can we do like a flexible schedule for in-person when you want it, remote synchronous when you want it, asynchronous when you want it. I call that high flex, and that's the latest thing. So I only had 7 people take this survey. I was a little sad, but that's okay. It's what it is. Apparently, the hot advice I was given is that I should say, hey, if some X percentage of the class completes the survey, because I can see number completed. I can't see who completed, but I can say, hey, if we get to, say, 80-90% of the class does the survey, then something happens. I hate giving points for things that aren't class related. I'm weird about that. I feel like that's weird for college to give you points for things that aren't related to the subject matter. But, okay, we'll see. I probably won't do that for you folks, but just because I'm weird about it. Anyway, so this is what I get. Right. This is a nice little graph here. This goes to my dean. Every year I have to do a review. So and all of these long answers, as long as you don't put your name here, it's anonymous. Okay. I had one person one year put some very specific comment about a very particular situation that happened to them that they had talked to me about. So I knew who that person was. Right. So if you put identifying details in the comment, I'll know it was you, but it doesn't, I don't think it even associates it with the scores, though. I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. But I just get the totals here and all these free text comments. And this goes to my dean, part of my review process. Someone, which I thought was really cool, said they actually liked Twitch and Discord because there wasn't your real name. And you could ask as many questions as you wanted. So, and some people said I sucked at grading, and that was true. That was a struggle last semester. It's a bit of a struggle this semester too, to be honest. But I'm getting there. So, yeah. So this is that end of semester survey, totally anonymous. Please take some time to fill it out later. It's not available yet, but that was, there was a story there. I forget now. Snake, yeah. Yeah, the web class. That one I've been doing this semester. So that's also on Twitch as well. That's been a lot of fun. That's been a lot of fun so far. We've been doing some cool stuff. Yep. Yeah, so the summer schedule is out. I'm supposed to encourage everyone to register for summer classes. And there is, oh my goodness, where is that? Let me Google better. Oh, nice. I'm glad you got the job. That's super cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so the summer semester is going to go the same way, remote, and then synchronous optional, and they're all evening classes. So we're bigger on evening classes apparently in the summer. Sure. And I'm again, don't have plans to keep anyone sitting there for 4 hours at night. Async optional, just like we've been doing for this class. I'll be live for probably about 2 hours a night. And then, again, because our classes are designed to be more lab-style classes where I talk at you for a while and then we try things on computers. I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours live every night. So I think my aim is about 2 hours of lecture for every class, and then lab time. Yeah, 11 to 8. Those are neat hours. I like that. I've never been a morning person. Getting here for this 10 a.m. class works because all I have to do is get up and walk across the hall at my house and come over to my office. Once we come back to in-person come fall and I'm doing morning classes, it's going to be rough. I'm just not a morning person. So we'll see. I might have to take my kids to school, so that'll make sure I'm awake. I got into software so I could be not a morning person for sure. No, I had a joke. When I started, there were 9 new faculty members. Is that right? 7, 9, I forget. So over a new faculty member. So they put us into this cohort and said, oh, here, we're going to pair you up with some experienced faculty members, and you guys can do, discussions and talk about things that are important and how things work and all these sorts of whatever stuff. Tell them to walk, Snake. Well, if things work out in the fall, my daughter's going to go to a school in Birmingham. I think Birmingham. They've got some really good programs for kids with learning disabilities, and it's a bit of a hike to walk from my house to Birmingham. So I'll probably drive her. So we'll see. That's all TBD, right? We're trying not to make plans until we figure out what happens this summer. But we're in this new faculty cohort, and one of the faculty members, I think she teaches English. She's super sweet, has been doing this for lots of years and really has some good tips and tricks and things. And she said, oh, well, we can get together for coffee. I'll be around, 8 to 9 in the morning on Fridays, because most of us don't have Friday classes. And she said, you can drop in anytime. We'll have a virtual coffee and we can chat. And I emailed her and I said, I'm sorry, Lindsay. I got into software, so I did not have to be awake at 8 a.m. on a Friday. And she laughed. That was the story. All right. What are we talking about? We got all of our items here. Oh, someone had asked a superclass for item and subclasses. Specifically, I did want item to be an interface. I could see how a base class or abstract class for item could make sense, but I want it to be an interface so we have practice doing interfaces. That's all. BPS. I don't know what that is, Snake. I'm sorry. BPS is nice. I don't know. Oh, I was meaning, I gotta figure out how to get Twitch chat on stream here. I think I can just use stream elements and just throw it in somewhere so there's like a scrolling chat. The Twitch VODs, you can watch chat if you watch the VOD on Twitch. When I export it to YouTube, you don't get any of that. Oh, Birmingham Public Schools? It's a private school in the area there. Not one of their public schools. I think it's in Birmingham. I don't know. We looked at it last year when we assumed this pandemic wasn't going to last forever. So, no. I should actually pester you folks as well. Yeah, Streamlabs in a browser. You just open up, generate a specific link, I think, right, that you don't have to auth to. I did sign up for Streamlabs, and they send me emails, so apparently Streamlabs has been watching me. But I'll work on that, because that sounds like it'd be fun. Yeah, but I should pester you folks. We have a goal of doing better at recruiting students. Or maybe not even recruiting. Maybe that's not the right word, but telling students about OCC and why it's a great option to come here instead of going to a four-year university right away. And so I need to go talk to the high schools in the area and try and catch people, maybe seniors in the fall, and say, hey, here's an option for school, by the way. So I had initially thought I'd want to go to schools that have programming courses because people were already interested in programming. And then I realized, well, I might be missing people because I should pitch that this is an option for you, even if you aren't already interested in computers. So I want to be a little bit more general in which classes I go talk to, if I can get in, to go pester schools and whatnot and say, hey, can I come talk to your classes? So I think that's on tap for the fall semester. We'll see. Yep. All right. Other ideas here. Other thoughts for our text-based kart racing game. Anything else you want to see? Again, just leave the game loop around. It's fine, right? We can do that after. If you wanted to implement it for extra credit, great. We loop through and each cart gets to pick its option. Does it accelerate? Does it brake? Whatever. If it enters the bend, have it enter the bend. Have it use its item if it wants to, and then go to the next cart. Right? This little turn-based idea here. I never added a rubric. Holy crap. I gotta add that. Snake, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. get 100% on your final project, and that'll carry over for sure. Okay, let's do this. Let's add that rubric. Let me grab all of that. Okay, let's do the rubric now so I don't forget. This is project 3. Yeah, I'll give you 100% bonus points. But unfortunately, the rule with bonus points is they're not actually worth anything. Complete and missing. Okay, so this is the cart abstract class. Sure, 2 points there. Heavy cart. Extends cart. Has extra item capabilities. Okay, the light cart. Extends cart. And what did I say was special about light carts? I wish I'd I don't know, it goes to another window for whatever reason. Not modal. Light carts. Oh, enter bends, right? Can break in bend. I'm gonna break one more time. I don't know, one more time. And entering bend. Sure. And then motorcycle, extends cart. And what was special about motorcycles? They go off the road, they lose extra turn. Loses extra turn and hit or wipes out in a bend. Right, so they get a lot of extra speed, but they have that penalty, right, because they're so much faster. That was the idea with the carts there. Okay. There was our carts, and then our track class, tracks, carts, items, positions. Right, what else did track do? Return the distance to the next bend for the upcoming bend. Yeah. Positions, bends. There's methods to interact with everything. Sure. So that probably needs to be a custom thing. Let's do custom points here. There we go. So let's give, say, I don't know, 5 points for track. That sounds like 5 things, right? Carts, items, positions, bends, methods. I mean, I went over a lot of it. I just didn't write the rest of the code, right? And then item interface. It's 2 points there. Mushroom item. Implements item. Increases cart speed when used. 2 points, sure. Shell item. Implements item. We'll hit the next, or the cart head of current cart when used. Yeah. So the extra credit will hit these points here, and then the mushroom shell and banana implements. So last time I put it in the rubric, it screwed things up. So, because it adjusted everyone else's score and it didn't work as well as I wanted. So I'll just add points to the score if it's there. Implements item. Next cart to pass the position. It was dropped. Wipes out. Oh dear. Okay, so track needs to be 4 points there. There, and that's 20. Did I get it all? I think I got it all. Okay. That's our class. Has all the required attributes. Okay, how's that sound? So that's 8 points for items and item interface, 8 points for carts and cart classes, cart base class, and then 4 points for the track there. And then if you want to do the bonus game loop, I'll throw in the bonus points there, but I can't put it in the rubric here because it messed stuff up last time I tried it. Because then when I didn't assign points to people, it marked down their overall score, and that was wrong. There we go. We have a rubric now. We feeling all right? Other questions, thoughts, concerns? Anything else you wanted to see? Any other, pieces of this getting a little confused? Oh, sweet tea, man, that's a bummer. Sorry for your dog's sister's best friend's step great aunt. Yeah, I had a rough weekend. My cat died on Saturday, so that was no fun. Kind of shot my weekend plans, but we're moving forward. It was the first cat I ever got as a kitten after my wife and I got married. I never could have cats as a kid because my brother was allergic. I always wanted cats, so we got some cats. We had adopted two boys who were a little bit older, but I'd never gotten kittens before, so we got these kittens. Yeah, she was 13, so she was getting up there in years. Not super old for a cat, but that's a pretty good run, I think. And she was happy and perky on Friday, so she was really funny. She would jump up on our table and try and eat food off the table, which is not actually the funniest thing, but it's funny to look back at now. And she was doing that on Friday, so it probably worked out for the best. See, these are the things you're not in Discord, so you don't see. Okay. Are we good with this? Other thoughts, questions, concerns? So hopefully, I was naively hoping, because it's due Thursday and we've had 4 weeks to do it, that we'd be almost done by now. But I forgot, that's not exactly how it works for everybody. So if you still have other thoughts, concerns, questions, want to chat more about it, I strongly encourage you folks to attend the study group sessions with our amazing SI. Come to study group sessions. You can chat about projects. You can chat about current topics. Whatever is on your folks' mind related to the class, I should say. Can chat about, and if you guys work together just discussing ideas, again, that's perfectly fine. If you start sharing code, we've gone too far. It's not a group project, so we're not sharing our code here. Yep. So, and our last project, so you might have noticed the points for these have gone up. Project 0 was less points. I mean, 0 was not really much of anything. Project 1, it was worth, and it was at 10, 15, and then 20, moving on up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can do the game loop just to see if it all works. Yeah. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this. Let's. I was about to say we should take a break, but now I'm thinking. Let's see, because we have Thursday coming up, and then all next week, right? Yeah. So study group today at 4, Wednesday at 6, Thursday at 4. Excuse me. Yeah, we've got more time. So why don't we end today? We'll call it. Oh yeah, I'll put that out on GitHub. Thank you. We'll call that good today. We'll come back for exceptions on Thursday. That way you've got, while this stuff is fresh, you got this extra hour to go work on that project. Definitely go get this stuff done, folks. 2151. I did not get as many submissions as I thought I would, based on how many people are in the class. Okay, so this is Project 3 ideas. Yeah, we'll talk about Project 4 on Thursday. Yep. Okay. All right, so I got that ideas examples out here in GitHub. Should be good there. All right, that one's there. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll call it a day. We'll come back. We didn't talk about exceptions yet. That's okay. We'll save that for Thursday. We've got some time. I want you folks, while this is all fresh, we just talked about it, go work on the project, finish it up, get it all ready to go. Okay? And go from there. That sound good? I like it. Okay. No one's complaining, so I think we'll take that route then. Yeah, come to study group at 4, right? Chat with your fellow classmates, ask some questions, get some questions answered, that sort of thing. Yeah, no one else is really. RWX Rob's around. We could check him out. He's always fun. We'll head over that way and say hi. RWX Rob. All right. Yeah, so I've got office hours today, 1 to 3. I've got one appointment booked already, but if you want to drop by for office hours, come ask me questions individually. We can fire up Zoom or do some Discord screen sharing, that sort of thing. We'll go from there. If not, take care. I'll see you on Thursday.